Hey guys, Sam here.
And Angela, and welcome to our channel.
Welcome to the next video of our RV project series. And today we have moved outside near the carport and we have got some wrenches to turn.
In this video, we're going to be servicing the entire coolant system.
Let's go. Step one of this project is to drain all of the coolant out of the radiator and the engine. There should be drain plugs on the bottom of the radiator. Crack those loose, take them out, and drain all of the coolant into an appropriate container and then get it out of the way. All right, here's the drain plug. This is a 3/4 inch socket. You could also use a wrench. We're just going to loosen this very carefully. This is plastic, so don't go crazy. Once you get it broke loose, get your drain pan. I'm holding it up right now to make sure it doesn't go wild. Undoing it by hand, and we're going to drain the radiator into this pan. I'm going to start very slow because if this pan fills up and this is not empty, I need to make sure I can reach up here, turn that, and shut it off to get a new pan. So don't take the plug all the way out if you can help it. Alright guys, radiator is almost done draining. A little tip, take the cap off of your radiator overflow tank reservoir. It'll allow air to come in and it'll drain much faster. I'm going to go ahead and take off this spring clamp off the bottom. This is the lower radiator hose that goes into the radiator because we're also changing out the hoses as part of this project and service. Squeeze that, kind of work it back, let it go. And then, depending upon the age or how long this has been down here, this may be an easy hose to twist and take off, or it might be a little bit of a work. Either way, the name of the game is to get the hose off without breaking the radiator hose mount, because this is all plastic. I'm going to go ahead and put my drain plug back in the radiator down here on the left, so that I can move my pan underneath this hose, because I am pretty confident this is going to try and get us wet. So, name of the game is don't drink it. Well, we didn't take it to the face, but my shoulder and armpit got a little bit of an ethylene glycol shower, and well, we did the best we could. Most of it is on the pan or on my shirt, and that's all right. So we are up. We are now going to take the hose assemblies off of the bottom of the overflow reservoir as our next step. This should also allow more air into the system, and anything else is going to drain will drain down there. The pan is also still down below. So here's the overflow tank. It's to the left of the radiator as you're looking in the front towards the chassis. So you have this small little overflow hose. We're not going to worry about that one. We want this one on the bottom, which routes down and over. So using the same channel lock pliers, we're going to grab the spring clamp, squeeze to release pressure, rock it back and forth a little bit to get it off. Then we can get these out of the way. And then this guy, hopefully, will just twist right off the tank. Again, being careful you don't break the tank because that is plastic. So once the hose is disconnected, you may find some zip ties holding things in place. Don't use a knife because that's dangerous. You could cut some wires or yourself. Find a pair of metal snips or strong shears, scissors, whatever you can find to give you a nice controlled snip to get that zip tie out of the way and free the hose so it can be pushed down and out of the way. It's also a good idea to push it down through this little area just so whenever you're down there trying to pull it out, you don't accidentally snag any wires or sensors and end up breaking something, or just have to go a lot of up, down, back and forth. Looking at our replacement hose, we can tell that we have disconnected this one for the overflow tank. We disconnected this one on the bottom of the radiator. The other ones we have left to do are these two guys, which go to the oil filter area, and then this one, which goes to the engine block. So we're going to crawl back under there. We're going to disconnect the one to the engine, the two to the oil filter, and then pull the original hose assembly, this giant monster, out from underneath the RV. Alright guys, just as a short clip, this hose up here is what connects to the engine. We're going to take this clamp off. You're not going to be able to see it while I do the work, but it rides up here. As you're facing the RV, it's on the right hand side, right above your power steering pump. It's back here where the oil filter is where the last two hoses are for the lower radiator hose assembly. These go to a oil cooler system. You've got one on the left and the right, small little squeeze clamps. Work it out, and that is the last of the connections. As you work the hose assembly out, try and get the liquid out before you put yourself underneath the hoses. So like these guys just coming off, trying to bend them out, make sure there's any liquid drained into the pan just to increase your chances of not eating it. Last thing is to work the overflow radiator hose out, but it's got a couple of clips. So we may have to go up and down, back and forth to work them out next. I'm up under the wheel well. I had to turn the wheels all the way to the right so I'd have more access to get in here because the clip on the radiator hose that goes up to the overflow canister, it goes in the side of the fan shroud. And it's very hard to reach unless you just climb in right here, reach around the frame, and you can get it out pretty easily. With this out, we can now move on to the next step. We're inside, guys. We took what's called the doghouse off top of the engine because the upper radiator hose is here, and then the other one is at the top of the radiator further back up there. So I'm going to take the upper radiator hose off first and hopefully be able to reach things without too much trouble. Alright, unfortunately that was the easy one. The other one is probably a foot beyond where this hole is in the floor. It's going to be tricky to get to, but gotta get it. Success! We just got the upper radiator hose off, and right here below this little metal piece is where the thermostat resides. At least I'm pretty sure. So we have two bolts, left and right. These are a 5/16 inch size. So I want to remove these, and we'll go ahead and swap out the thermostat while we're here before we put the new hose on. And right down there is the thermostat with the original gasket on top. Should just pull straight out of there. Although if it's the original like what we have, you might need to grab it with a pair of pliers and pull it out. There went more water. Oh yeah, that's definitely the original. That guy was in there super tight. There's a comparison of the old one and the new one. It doesn't visibly look different, maybe a little tarnished, but the thermostat's operations are what you can't really see, and that's usually what goes bad. So, out with the old and in with the new. Be sure you also buy a new O-ring. You don't want to reuse the original. That sits right there on top of the thermostat. And then the housing just goes right on top of those, and it bolts back together. So we're at a crossroads. We have a fork in our road, and we have got to make a decision that is not the best decision that I want to make, but it's the best one that we can make. We're under a time crunch. We've got some personal things going on to where this RV needs to be back running and on the road to move it out of this area. We have a birthday party coming up. We're gonna have the party over here. Nobody wants to party around an RV with the engine taken apart. So that means we are on a time crunch to get this thing back together and running. I wanted to do the water pump, and I say wanted because I'm not going to be able to do the water pump just yet. I have tried to find a water pump wrench for this engine and setup and can't find anyone locally that has one. The time crunch that we're working on for other things means this thing has to be put back together and moved tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is save my water pump, save the things that I've got, and on our next service interval, which I want to be 5,000 miles, since this is an RV, kind of a heavy duty, I want to keep this thing really well maintained. At that point, we will do the water pump. I'll go ahead and order the wrenches now, next day or so, get the stuff in, have it on hand, and also keep it in the RV. Heaven forbid, in the event we're on a trip and the water pump goes out, we can swap it and do it then, or have a mechanic do it. Now, while we have the engine like it is, with the belt off, I have access to be able to spin the water pump, the fan pulley, all of that stuff, and it spins smoothly. There is no wobble, there's no play, there's no noise to the bearings, there is no wiggle. So honestly, it feels perfectly fine. I just would rather have it replaced. But like I said, can't do it this go around, so we'll save our parts. We'll put it in a storage compartment in the RV, and we'll do it next time.
So putting on the belt is going to be a little bit difficult. It's going to take 2 of us to do. Here is a diagram. That's what the diagram shows, how the belt goes. So both of us are going to get down there on the ground and wiggle around and try and get it finagled where it goes. So we're not going to be able to video that part. Just know that diagram's what we're doing right now.
Here's the old tensioner. Looks pretty original to me. Gotta be careful, I'm holding it right over top of my head. And we've got coolant dripping down still. But out with the old and in with the new. Here is a finished look at the new belt. Like I said, it's kind of a weird angle. I'm sorry, but this is actually how we're seeing it down here. We definitely referenced the diagram several times, along with photos we took before we took the old one off, to make sure we were correct and everything is good. Now the next thing is to bring the lower radiator hose down here and connect it right there at the bottom of the engine. Route the 2 tubes back to the oil filter assembly. Connect the other piece to the radiator right there, and then fish the other one way up top to the radiator overflow reservoir. All right, we got the lower radiator hose put in place a little bit. So these 2 that run from the front, they go over top of your, I'll say, engine cradle, this big steel piece, and then they go back to the oil filter. Make sure these guys don't get twisted up and kinked, and also make sure you run them right through the small little opening where there's enough room. The next piece up here curves up and connects to the engine there, right above the power steering pump, no problem. This piece goes there to the radiator, and then this long, you can't hide, Angela. Okay. The long piece fishes up beside the fan shroud all the way up to the top for the radiator overflow canister. I definitely am not reusing the original spring clamps or squeeze clamps. I can't stand those. So we're putting all new stainless steel hose clamps on, torquing them down tight, but not crazy, but definitely tight. And as promised, here is a finished look. So we have the hose connected in there to the engine block right above the power steering pump. Comes down here, twirls over, connects to the bottom of the radiator. These 2 guys come straight back and go to the oil filter. 2 different connecting hoses there. And then that one there goes all the way up, and we'll connect it in just a second. All right, so here's the other end of that really long hose. Putting the new stainless steel hose clamp on, and we're going to attach it to the bottom of our radiator fill point and overflow canister. One thing that is very, very important, don't over tighten this, because this plastic has been under a lot of pressure and heat, and these guys are very fragile. I've crushed a couple of these in the past, getting too excited with a ratchet and a hose clamp. So walk it up, be easy, and don't crank it down unless you want to buy a new reservoir as well. We are to that wonderful point that we get to put our coolant, antifreeze, and water mixture into the radiator and fill this whole system up. I have purchased the concentrate because it's cheaper and because this is a big system. I think it's around 5 to 6 gallons of fluid. Whenever you get your antifreeze, this may or may not be what you need for your engine, so definitely look that up. For this 6.8 liter V10 Triton, 2008 model year, the gold concentrate is what was recommended, so it's exactly what I got. This lovely RV has no access to pour into this reservoir. It's about 6 inches higher than this hood access point, and there's no access above it. So we're going to be using a hand pump siphon with hose to transfer the fluid Hopefully this doesn't take 3 years, so I might as well just hurry up and start it and get this done sooner than later. Oh Lord, this is going to take forever. One squeeze at a time. Well, hey, how about a little coffee break?
Not for you.
Nope. I'm just going to be here milking it. This is taking way too long. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this hose off, pull it over here, and pour it in that way. Till the hose is full, then we'll stick it on and top off the container. But this is just taking way too long, guys. So we decided to get a funnel, and I'm tightening the hose clamp around the funnel and making myself my own filler nozzle. So now I can take this antifreeze and just pour it into the funnel. Easy peasy, 1, 2, 3 easy. Keep going until it's full, then we'll attach it to the overflow reservoir. So another trick is when you put your upper radiator hose on, hook it to your radiator and then pull it over this way and pour some water or coolant into your system as well. I'm just trying to get it in as fast as possible so we're not going to have to wait forever at that overflow. The only thing, don't fill it up too much because this has to go downhill to hook into the engine. So I just poured a gallon in. I'm going to try and hook it to the thermostat housing pretty quick and hopefully not take a bath. There we go. A little bit of engine wash. There we go. Upper radiator hose is done, all clamped down. Now we can go outside and fill this system up the rest of the way. So we've done 2 gallons of coolant concentrate. Now we're doing our 2nd gallon of water. The first gallon was what we poured inside. So I'm gonna just try and put this on top of the thing. And if I spill it, no big deal. This is just water. But I'm gonna try and save some time rather than using that hand pump thing. Look at that. Who would have thought? Not me. So I'm going to overfill the reservoir on purpose because we know we got to start the engine up and it's going to move a lot of fluid throughout the block and the water jacket. So taking it to the top.
Well, we are to the point where we can start the engine and let the coolant run all throughout it and sit out here and watch the reservoir and fill it up as we need to. At this point, we're looking for any leaks underneath or around the radiator hoses.
Well, all in all, it wasn't fun.
I wouldn't call it fun.
It could have been a lot worse. We had 0 broken bolts. We had 0 injuries. And so therefore we need to have a lot of stuff we're happy about.
We had no blood, we had sweat, but we had no tears.
I don't know, I think I cried a little bit. It was off camera. So it's a bummer we weren't able to do the water pump this go around, but we have it. We have all the stuff for it, and it is in the RV for the next go around. Just one of those things that we were under a time crunch with the birthday party for the boys happening right here in Mechanic Central that we just had to do what we had to do, I guess. It also explains why there are no videos out there as far as F53 chassis water pump replacements on the engine, because it's not an easy job. It's not a job that probably, well, I don't know. Has anyone out there ever tried to do that? I guess we tried and maybe failed. But
I wouldn't say failed.
We'll be successful in the end someday.
Yeah.
Or we'll get a mechanic to do it. That's the reason there's no videos. Mechanics are doing it, not regular people.
Well, guys, thanks for coming along as we service the coolant system.
Plus the belt, tensioner, and pulley.
Yes. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was difficult. I'm gonna lay here for a second. We are ready to install, well, that's dumb.
In this video, we are going to be
For us, in this 6.8 liter V10 Triton motor, this is the concentrate antifreeze. Dun, dun, dun. You see the line on the reservoir?
I do.
So I'm going to overfill the reservoir. Get out of here, mud dauber. Oh, my fingers.
Just know that diagram's what we're doing right now.
That diagram. Alright, now that it's running and up to temperature, oh, it's full, honey.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's not started to suck it through just yet. I filled it up all the way before I went inside to make sure it didn't go
I
in.
didn't know that.
That's alright.
Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I was waiting for something else after next time.
I know, I didn't think of anything else to put in it.
No, that's good.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.